Hello and welcome to another episode from the Underdogs podcast. The dog and Christmas time. This episode is for everyone trying to bring together their animals, pets, children, and other family members around Christmas. December is approaching, a time full of challenges for humans and animals. Perhaps you will invite your family, or maybe you want to visit your family. Maybe you have a dog and the family has 5 cats, or the other way around. Or perhaps you no longer have connection with your family and prefer to celebrate with friends. In that case, there will still be some challenges for you. Today we will look how to make it work, what is necessary and what should be absolutely avoided. Let's start with the first scenario. Family or friends are coming to visit you. You have pets, a dog or a cat or both. I will talk about the dog in this example, but this also applies to cats, hamsters or goldfish. Basically, your home is your castle. Your home, your rules. Here you want to feel safe, you and your pet. You and your pet have your own spaces and routines here. And now new people are coming into your space. The closer these people are to you, the more complicated it becomes. A complete stranger would generally be polite and hold back. Family members, however, often have a different understanding of boundaries. And this is quite normal. It's just like close friends who are familiar with your home. They know where they find a cup, where the bathroom is, or that smoking is only allowed outside. There are 2 types of people: those who hold back and ask before they do anything, and those who just act because they feel at home. If you already have that funny feeling in your stomach, yes, that's very intrusive. No matter how well you know each other, no matter how close you are, whether friends or family, there are a few rules for harmonious interactions in someone else's home. Get support. Your best friend or favorite aunt agree on things beforehand. When someone begins doing things independently in someone else's home, it often leads that others to follow their example. So, ask those closest to you and your dog for support. This person has more privileges than anyone else, but also more responsibilities. This includes setting boundaries for other guests. For example, telling someone to leave the kitchen if they don't belong there. This is very important as you can't be everywhere at once. And it's especially important for your dog or cat. I often see the behavior of animals being completely misinterpreted, leading to conflicts. Protect your pet from being overstepped. Your dog is not there to entertain people, nor is the cat there to amuse anyone. Your dog lives there. It's also his home and he has rights there. It's his safe refuge, and absolutely no one has the right to cross his boundaries there. I have rented out guest rooms for over 10 years, so I know what I'm talking about. I can tolerate someone level of annoyance, but my dog cannot. My dog cannot understand why strangers behave disrespectfully and why I allow it in our safe home. This is clearly about setting boundaries and being consistent. At the host, you must clearly state what is allowed and what is not, and follow through these consequences. Anyone who misbehaves or doesn't respect the dog or cat is welcome to leave, even if it is the boss or the wealthy uncle from America. This is real leadership, and leadership starts at the front door. The door is the gateway to the world. It's where you go out and come back in. And sometimes people come in from the outside. The dog usually isn't asked if he's okay with this. People just enter his home. The dog is now very excited, maybe even a bit uncertain. If you have a very friendly dog, he will approach the situation with friendly gestures. Other dogs, however, may bark, growl, or even pee. They try in some way to maintain control. The more people, the more stressful it becomes. It is not your dog's job to welcome and greet guests. Please train a safe space for your dog beforehand. A retreat where your dog feels safe and can relax when people enter the house, whether it's family or workmen. This is essential to reduce stress. And it's important that your dog has genuine peace there. This way, you can ensure he has a retreat you can control, safe from the intrusions of guests. It's much easier to tell everyone this is the dog's or cat's place and the animals are left to be left alone there. You can involve your trusted friends or family members here and ask for their support. This ensures no one tries to feed the fish or lets the kids suddenly start riding the dog. Even the kind uncle shouldn't give the dog cookies without asking. And the friendly colleague shouldn't keep her hands off the cat. If children are involved, extra caution is required. Keep children away from other people's pets. If you're unsure whether your dog genuinely enjoys everything or is just putting on a brave face and is about to lose his patience, take a look at my mini course on dogs' behavior. There you will find all the essentials of basic communication. You can even show the course to keep the children occupied. You are responsible for protecting your dog from strangers in his home. This means setting boundaries with strangers. This becomes especially important when alcohol is involved. It becomes increasingly stressful for our animals, and it's even harder to keep the gathering under control. In this case, it's very helpful if you can separate the dog or cat. And please, not on the balcony. Now, the opposite scenario. You want to visit your family with your dog. In this case, you are the guest, and your dog is also a guest. The resident dog has rights in his home. The cat should be respected. So, your own dog maybe has to stay on leash. Here too, you are responsible for protecting your dog from any inappropriate treatment. And of course, you don't have to put up with everything from the family either. If someone wants to put your dog in the basement or on the balcony, it's better to go back home. You are responsible for your dog's safety and both your well being. In this case, it's always worth considering whether you really need to bring your dog along. Can the dog stay at home? Or perhaps stay with a good friend for the weekend? Only consider friends you know well and with whom your dog gets along. The solution: the boarding kennel. Boarding kennels are great. You book a room for your dog or cat, drop them off with their favorite blanket and treats and toys, and leave with peace of mind. A few days without your dog. The dog is well taken care of, with other dogs around, and gets a little vacation of his own. It might even be good for him to be with other dogs. And then you return. If you are lucky, your dog had a fantastic time, made new friends, and is really happy. I run a small dog boarding kennel myself, so I know what I'm talking about here. And I also work with animal shelters. I know how a dog looks when he's left behind. For the dog, there is no difference between a boarding kennel and a shelter at first. And then, when you come back, you often get a different dog in return. And I don't mean that someone has mixed up a Labrador with a Rottweiler. Our pets are not dumb. They are family members, thinking and feeling beings with strong bonds and separation anxiety. The family is the pack. Without the family, the dog is nothing. And now this dog is left behind. The same goes for cats. Yes, I know, no one is being left tied at a rest stop. A lot of money is being paid to make sure the dog is well taken care of. But that doesn't change anything. The dog is left behind and abandoned. Strange people, strange animals, strange smells, strange environment. The dog is alone on his own. A dog doesn't make new friendship simply because there are other dogs around. Dogs are extremely social beings. They are loyal and faithful. Even the nicest decor on the boarding kennel doesn't change that. I have clients whose dogs did not handle the boarding experience well. And this is not the fault of the kennel. There are extremely good kennels with highly dedicated staff and fantastic facilities. They do everything in their power to make the dog's day enjoyable. But the pain that remains cannot simply be erased. The separation anxiety, the loss of trust. This is something the dog has to cope with alone. And then maybe there's New Year's Eve. The dog is alone without his familiar family in an unfamiliar environment, and outside there are loud explosions. This leaves a mark. So, better to take the dog along? Let me put it this way. If I choose to have a pet, it's my decision, and the pet typically doesn't get a say in the matter. Then I have a responsibility. I am obligated to ensure that the pet is well taken care of in good times and in bad. The biggest challenge during the holidays will be setting boundaries, remaining calm and composed without provoking unnecessary stress. After all, it's the season of love, and we all want to celebrate a harmonious holiday in peace. Now, when different people come together in close quarters or for a set amount of time, conflicts will arise. This is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't mean society is broken. It's important to develop strategies for getting through this time stress free, especially for supporting your pets. Setting rules is essential. Don't want the dog to get food from the table? Prepare treats in advance, preferably diet treats, and have a jar ready from which the dog can get a treat. Be clear about what you don't want. Ideally, communicate this in advance. Send an email to everyone who will be attending. Some people may be offended. Fine. That's not your problem, it's theirs. You are communicating your boundaries. That's your right. And for your dog, it's also your duty. If someone doesn't like it, they can celebrate elsewhere. Ask parents to watch their children. Practice with your dog in advance, staying calm and going to his place. You can also train your dog to wear a muzzle. Many people instinctively keep their hands off a muzzled dog, and it doesn't hurt the dog. He may even enjoy the peace. Make sure your dog or cat doesn't get lost in the hustle and bustle. Many dogs can easily feel overwhelmed in large gatherings, especially smaller ones. Often we don't notice because we are occupied with other things. The dog or cat is down there somewhere, amidst it all. Also, take care of yourself. You can only optimally support your dog if you are calm and grounded. Make sure to get plenty of fresh air, practice breathing exercises, drink lots of water, and do some yoga training. Nonviolent communication and honest sharing are useful tools for preparing for potential confrontations. Don't let other stress and anger affect you. Don't make it your problem. Stay true to yourself and do your thing, regardless of what others say or think. You don't have to justify or defend yourself. You know what's best for you and your dog. I hope this episode helps you to stand strong for your dog, even if it might meet with resistance. If you need support, whether with training the safe space, muzzle, or learning how to set healthy boundaries, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for listening. I wish you a wonderful November, and until next time, bye.